open the drink. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
How would this benefit the Cowboys if they had Zeke? Because last year, man, when we wasn't punching the ball in the end zone, everybody was super frustrated.
I got to remind you of some things, and I want you guys to keep this same energy, because I'm going to remind you of what the Cowboys organization has done for the last 30 years. Because
one morning, he had a rule that I had to make my bed before I go to the bathroom. Right? Before, that's the first thing you do in the morning. You go to the bathroom, you come back, you make your bed, and then my bed had to be made before I left to go to school, period. Okay? Uh-huh. But he made up some BS because I didn't make my bed before I went to the bathroom. We're not going. Wow. And I said to him, Dad, let's be honest. We weren't going anyway. And he was like, well, you never know. I'm like, no, I know.
You already knew.
I already knew. So I think it, for me, I'll if I have the means, I'm going to go to a sporting event. And yes, I want Nick to have those memories.
Grass or turf?
Turf.
Indoor or outdoor?
Indoor.
TV or movie?
Movie.
Baseball or basketball?
Basketball.
Beef or chicken?
Ooh, I'm about to eat both. Steak. So beef. I go beef.
This is gonna tell your age. Tecmo Bowl or Madden?
Oh man, I love Tecmo Bowl. I grew up on Tecmo Bowl, Bo Jackson, but Madden, man, because Madden's NCAA is about to drop, but Madden, man, I've been raised on Madden. So
LeBron or Jordan?
Jordan, easily, man. Jordan. So the name is Jordan Michael. So I'm named after Michael, born in '84. You know what I'm saying? There's no other GOAT when it comes to Michael, man. So
all right, this is a tough one as a Cowboy fan. Romo or Dak?
Dak.
How did you fall in love with the Cowboys, man, that made you become this Canadian Cowboys super fan? What happened, man, that made the Cowboys show up on your radar?
So I would say the NFL started getting really big in Canada probably NFL Network ad. Hey, once NFL Network came out,
yeah,
you got that exposure, like a lot of exposure. We finally got to see stuff about the draft, and you had a channel that you could literally tune into NFL football all the time. At the same time, Adam and I had both started playing fantasy football. I had watched football occasionally before that, but I would say for me, diehard, as a fan, my first year actually watching football and picking a team was the year that Bledsoe got replaced by Tony Romo. And
my first thing, dude, that caught me off guard because I text all my guests, hey man, give me where you were born, blah blah blah, and when it said Santa Ana, California, it threw me off. I said, man, I thought this man was born and raised in Texas.
I knew I threw you for a loop there. That's the first thing I told the wifey. I said, I threw him for a loop. And she's like, you told him? I said, I told him I was born in Cali.
How about the Cowboys?
All right. Welcome to our Mother's Day edition of Conversation with Chris. And man, my special guest, there he is, my man, Cowboy Corner. What's up, baby? How you doing?
First of all, thanks for having me right here with the Conversation with Chris. I've seen, a lot of those that highlight reel that you just played. Big fan of, watched every single one of them, and couldn't wait for my turn. I know we reached out about 2 months ago and I was on the list, and the time's come. So thanks for having me, and I'm ready to start a conversation, man.
Hey, man, thanks for being patient, man. We had a lot of people, man, on the list, and I purposely tried not to go back to back with with Cowboy creators and everything. I said, but you know what? I was like, I couldn't wait for you anymore. I said, as many phone calls and texts that we shoot at each other. I was like, you know what? Me and Mike need to have this conversation right now, right now. So, hey man, let me do a little small introduction for you, man, for the folks that's watching. Okay.
Let's do it.
Born Michael Sanchez. Okay. In November 17th of 1990. Born in the Panhandle, Texas, Swisher County, Texas. Parents Angel and Patrick, and also Jeremy. We're gonna get into that. Attended Northside High School in Vernon, Texas. It's my man. Hold on. And married to Miss Liberty with 2 kiddos. And man, started his YouTube career in 2014. Everybody, man, let's welcome my man, Cowboy Corner.
Thank you. That was good.
All right, man. So man, let's do this. I want to start here immediately. Okay. So tell everybody, where is Swisher County, Texas?
Yeah. No, it's Tulia. You have Tulia parentheses there. It's in the middle of Amarillo and Lubbock, Texas. Very small town. They just have a prison there and a hospital. Fun fact, I was born there, but I was raised in Vernon, Texas. That's my stomping grounds. That's home, North Texas. Fun fact, though, I seen the hospital that I was born in for the first time in 2021. We were actually doing a family reunion, and I told my wife, I said, we need to stop in Tulia, Texas, and just browse where I was born. And small town, they got a nice little Mexican restaurant there, but got to see the hospital I was born in. Just a one story. I mean, you'd think it was like just like our standard office, but it's a hospital. I mean, it's a very small hospital, 1-story hospital, and got to see it. But stopping grounds is definitely the 940 Vernon, Texas. That's definitely where I got every scar as a child. Was right there in Vernon. A lot of blood dropped, sports played, stuff like that. So
you were born in Swisher. Now, when did you guys? Do you know how old you were when you moved to Vernon?
Oh, immediately, probably 3-4 months old.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you were just born in the Panhandle, but you were in Vernon. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do this, man. How was growing up in Vernon? You know, I know Vernon is a small area and everything like that of North Texas. But how was it, man? How was your childhood in Vernon?
Vernon's Vernon, man. It's small town, population of 11,000 people, very country, very cowboy-esque. Elvis Presley, before Elvis Presley was Elvis Presley, played in Vernon, Texas, right? So that's how small it was. And so, Bonnie and Clyde passed through Vernon, Texas once upon a time on their little bank adventures. So, it has some rich history there, but, Vernon's Vernon, a lot of really good people. It's the slogan of the town is a good place to hang your hat. And that's exactly what it is. You can't take too big of a dump in life because everybody would smell it type of town. But everyone's friendly there. I do miss it. It's been 11 years since I've been away from Vernon, Texas, but no, it's a great community.
Is the parents still in Vernon?
No, they're in Colorado.
They're in Colorado. Oh, they're near me, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna go by and say hi. I'm say, hey, Mike wanted me to come by and say hi. I'm like, you who's Cowboy Chris knocking on our door?
Right.
I said, Mike, you to stop by and say hi, man. And let's talk about the parents, okay? Mom's Angel, dad's Patrick, okay? How long have they been together?
Oh man, they've been together over 30 years. And they're going strong. They're in Lamar is where they're at. They're doing things, and during the recession, that's when they moved. It was right after I graduated during the recession of 2009. And that's when they moved up there during the recession and, replanted roots, took my two younger brothers with them. And me and my sister stayed behind in Verdon there for a little while. Then my grandma passed away, and then my sister moved up there with them, and then I stayed behind, and then I moved in 2013. So
Okay.
there to Lamar for a little bit, but no, they're still doing good up there, and they moved away in, gosh, 2010, something like that, right after I graduated. I graduated 2009, but it was soon after that they moved to Colorado.
So who was the disciplinarian of the two? Who did you well, mom. Okay, so when little Mike was a kid, he got in trouble. It was on and popping with mom, huh?
You name it, I got hit with it. Because, I don't know. Fun fact: my mom had me at the age of 16 years old, so I kind of grew up with my mom, and
Right.
so growing up with your parents, my grandma was a boomer, right? So the boomers raised their kids a bit different. And because we were so close in age, the way that my grandma raised my mom, that's how my mom raised us, because she wasn't able to transition into adulthood because she had us at a young age. So how my grandparents raised her, that's how she raised us. And it was no tolerance. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. You're disrespectful. If you disrespect me, I'm going to knock you in the mouth. You name it, a sandal, a belt, a whip, a fist, a shoe, you name it. I've been hit with
it. So, hey, you sound like you was raised black. Because, hey man, our parents was like that too. What's so bad? I was one of those kids, man. I couldn't stand whoopings, so I was one of those who I followed the rules a lot, right? But once I got it, I think both of my parents were the disciplinarians. They were no nonsense, also. And then especially my grandmother, right? She didn't play that at all. Any kind of disrespect, it's going to be on, and now you see people barely, shaking their fingers at their kids. I'm like, man, you guys couldn't survive when we were raised because you'd be dead.
It's crazy though, because, I'm a father of two girls. I mean, I'm a girl dad, as Kobe Bryant would say. And, they've done some butt whooping worthy stuff, but I don't have it in my bones to whip them like my mom did. I'm more the different approach because I was able to grow up and say, I don't want to raise my kids like this. Right. So I was able to take a different approach, and being a girl dad, dude, it's tough. Now, if it was a son, it might be different, but the way I was spanked, I could never do that to my kids, dude. Never.
Hey, I'm with you on the girl part. Because I have a son and a daughter. Now, my son, he can get it whenever he wanted it, but when it came to the daughter, it was always, hey, it was my wife's responsibility. Hey, that's you, because you never wanted that image of, hey, my dad whooped me, or is this cool that another man touch, your girl and stuff. So, I kind of passed it on. I kind of had that same sentiments, Mike, about when it comes to the girl, and you got two girls. So, but you are abusive. I've seen the video on TikTok where you hit your baby with your elbow, but we'll get into that. I know. Poor baby. I was like, I need to call CPS. Mike is abusing his baby. So, man, let's talk about dad. Let's talk about Patrick, man. How was Pat growing up, man? Was he a strict dad, supportive dad? How was he?
He was supportive. He was very supportive. We didn't grow up with money. With my mom and my dad. Well, we just didn't. And that was the circumstances that we lived in. It was to the point where my dad would donate plasma to get $30 to get a meal for 2 days. And then he would go back, donate plasma again, just for us to eat again. So that's the type of person he was. And so That's what I appreciate. And on top of that, he blessed me with 2 other brothers. My brother Patrick and Eric.
Right.
He blessed me with those guys, and but no, he was very supportive, always looking out for us. I mean, he took on 2 kids at a very young age, and he didn't have to. And then he blessed us with 2 more kids, and we were a family of 6 all of a sudden. Went from a family of 3 to a family of 6, just doubled, and it was really fun. It was really fun, and before my brothers got here, he would always, we have a place in North Texas called Allsup's, and they're very famous for bean burritos. And so he would slip me $5 and we would go to Allsup's and I'd go get hot Cheetos and burritos and stuff, before my brothers got here. That's just a bond that we had.
Right, right.
When they got here, money got a little tighter and we couldn't do that no more, but I understood. But yeah, no, he came in and raised me, and it was good. It was good.
Man, you brought up something, man. Allsup's was the 7-Eleven of the country. If people don't know what Allsup's is, so if you grew up in anywhere rural in Texas, you had an Allsup's. Okay, right. The first time I ever seen an Allsup's, man, I went to college in Abilene, and so I was like, Allsup's, what is Allsup's? But then it became, like you said, it was that place where you get that bean burrito. It was the best bean burrito you ever had in your life. Hey, so when you said that, man, it just brought a rush of memories back when I was in Abilene in college and at the Allsup's, man. I think at the time, man, I think they were $1.25 when I was in school. And I was just like, man, you get 3 or 4 of them with $5, and man, you're good for the whole day. Allsup's, the lifesaver as a college student for me. So you said that, man, he was basically a family guy, and he came in, so gave you 2 other brothers, but he's not your biological father. I'm hearing you say. So I know you said your biological father, his name is Jeremy. Okay. Right. So is Jeremy still alive? Is he still in your life?
He is. So I always wondered who, you could picture until you meet who your dad is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I always wondered it. And my sister bought me and my wife DNA Ancestry.
Okay.
For Christmas in 2019. And so we took it in hopes that I could, see, who my dad is, what's going on with all that, right? And so the results came back, and I matched with my Aunt Terry, which would be his sister, right? Because I called my sister, and I'm like, hey, let's see who we match with, because if we match, then it's part of, mom's family. So if we're someone who don't match with us, because she already took the test, right? So whoever don't match, we'll know that's from my dad's side of the family, right? So Terry was the first one that my sister didn't have. So bam, I found my aunt. So my wife, being the investigator that she is, boom, hit Facebook, hit Google, bam, 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 bam. Found my Aunt Terry's Facebook page. So we reached out. Hey, my name's Michael Sanchez. I'm looking for my dad. Do you know what Jeremy? She goes, you know what's crazy? She goes, I have a brother named Jeremy that's from California. I don't know him well. He just found our dad when he was about 30.
Wow.
So, but I don't have his number, but his name's Jeremy. I said, okay. So here comes my wife again. Boom, 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 boom. Amanda. That's my sister. I have a sister. Wow. That's crazy, Oh, wow, Nick. I have a brother named Nick. Okay, cool. I got a brother and I got a sister. So I messaged Pookie. That was her nickname, was Pookie on Facebook. And I was like, hey, Pookie. And she was like, do I know you? And keep in mind, she screenshotted this, sent this to my dad, and it's me and my daughters in a movie theater. And my wife took the picture, and it's me and my 2 daughters. That's my Facebook profile picture. And he's looking at this picture like, who the hell are those kids? Why am I sitting with those kids? I don't know who those kids are. When was this picture? He's thinking me was him because that's how much we resemble each other.
Wow. Okay.
So I told my sister, Amanda, I was like, you don't know me, but you will. I'm your brother. I went straight into it. My wife's getting mad at me. She's like, do not do not go. But I'm me, all right. I'm just out, right. And I was like, no, but whatever. So she calls me. She was actually coaching a basketball game in Cali. So she called me after 2 hours later. She's like, what's going on? Who's your mom? Boom, boom, boom. Come to find out, he was in West Texas. He was in the Marines, and he was down. He was down for a break, and I'm an accident. All right. He was down for a break. All right, and then he left. He didn't know nothing about me. Okay.
Right.
So Amanda's trying to protect her mom and thinking, okay, did my dad cheat on my mom? She's thinking the worst because I just came out of nowhere, right?
Right.
She did the match. She's like, okay, this was before my mom. And I was like, cool, whatever. So then she's like, you know what? Dad's either going to be one or two ways. He's going to love you and take you in, or he's absolutely going to just disown you.
Right.
And I was like, okay, all right. So I talked to my sister Amanda. I talked to her mom, and we have a good conversation. He's actually at a UFC fight with his friend. So he's not even in the house. He's out wondering who the hell I was in that screenshot. That's all he knows. Okay.
Right.
So my sister just left it at that. So we have a good. So the next morning, my sister's text me. She's like, Dad's pacing in the kitchen because I think my mom told him what's going on.
Okay.
I think he's about to call you.
Okay.
The phone rings.
Okay.
It's my dad. My biological.
All right. Okay.
Hey, yeah, I know your mom. I'm gonna be honest. I did not know you existed. If I did, we would have had a relationship. If you want to, I would love a relationship with you. I want to get to know who you are. He don't know that I have kids. He don't know nothing, right?
Right.
And so I'm like, cool. That's what I want. I don't want nothing from you except just a relationship. I want to know who you are.
Yeah.
And so we started talking. He goes, I'm a grandfather. I said, yes. Ellie and Diana, those are your granddaughters. Your daughter-in-law, Liberty. We've been married then was 8 years. Now we're about to knock on 11 years. And I was like, that's your daughter-in-law. Boom, boom, boom. So he was like, let's meet up. Let's do this. It was like 6 months into talking. I said, how about this? Let's go. Since you live in Cali, the Cowboys are going to Oxnard. I was like, I could take a vacation, a 2-week vacation. I could spend a week with you. Then we can go to Oxnard, me and my family, and we can hang out over there, and then we'll head home. He was like,
right.
Dude, that's perfect. So that's what we did. I got to meet him for the first time. We went to Cali for a vacation, went to Cowboys training camp. I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is me and my dad at the very same age. All right.
Oh my God.
We're both 18 in that picture, dude.
Right.
And so when we met up in California, this is us as a kid right here. This is us as a kid.
Wow.
And so, we just hit it off. And, there was a time where my daughter, she looked like me, but we didn't have the same eyes or something. This was us when we first met. This was in Cali at the beach. That's us old and fat now.
Okay. All right.
And so my daughter looks a lot like him. She looks like her grandpa. It's insane. And but no, we have a really good relationship. We try to talk at least once a week. We send a lot of TikTok videos to each other. We do have, we've met up probably 4 times since California, and stuff like that. So our relationship is growing. He beats himself up that he didn't know about me sooner. But my mom wanted to keep that a secret. But I respect my mom's decision. My mom wasn't happy when I found him, but it is what it is. And we went on about life.
So does he still live currently? I mean, so is he originally from California? Is that where
he's from?
Texas. He's originally from Texas. Okay, he just settled. He just settled in California.
He was a Marine, so he was stationed in Orange County at the Marine base there.
Mm-hmm.
And then he became a cop. So with the pension packages and with the retirement packages, my dad's already retired. He now lives in Tyler, Texas.
Okay.
Retired. And so now he's back in Texas and stuff, retired. But no, he lived in California for a lot of years.
Wow. So man, that's an awesome story. I told you before the show started, I said we had something similar in common. I didn't meet my biological father till I was like 19 years old.
Wow.
I honestly thought that my stepfather was my real father until I was 19. And so, I tell people I have my stepfather's last name, but to me that's dad. That's who raised me,
Right.
So, and that's whoever, that's forever is going to be dad, and it's cool, man, that you guys had the DNA DNA is something else. I'm telling you, it'll change your life one way or the other, the good way or a bad way, won't it? But man, that's awesome that you and the biological father have a great relationship, man, because some people, they don't want to hear the truth. Okay. He heard the truth, he accepted the truth, and now you guys got a great relationship. And that's pretty awesome though, man.
So Nick and Amanda look like their mom. So I'm the only one that has like a mirror image of my dad. So when the first night we get there, my brother Nick's excited because now he has an older brother, right? And he just graduated in 2021. So I think my brother Nick, I think he's 20 or 21. So me and my dad are sitting across from each other. He's sitting at the head of the table right here, and we're just talking, getting to know each other in person now, And my brother Nick's just looking at us as we're talking. I mean, he's looking at our hands. He's looking at our face. He's looking at our the way we carry ourselves. And he was like, dude, it's like y'all looking at a mirror. He was like, my mind is just blown.
Hey, man, it's funny. You pick up mannerisms that's actually inherited. You're not knowing you're doing it, Right. It just happens. I mean, I catch myself, man, doing stuff. I used to tease my mom about the way she did things or said things or stuff. And dude, I catch myself doing it. I was like, I used to tease my mother for doing crap like that, and now I do it. Like certain mannerisms with my face. And I was like, man, my mom used to do the same thing, but hey, that's how it is. That's that DNA in you, bro. So man, I love that, man. So, hey, we gonna get back into you right now. Okay. So attended Northside High School in Vernon, Texas. Hey, man. So in Vernon, how was Northside, man? Was it what A was that? Was it a 2, 3, 4, 5A? What classification was Vernon?
Division 2?
Were you a 2A?
No, I was Division 2. There was no A's.
Oh, you like 6-man football?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So Vernon, hey, Northside High was a real small school, huh? So what was your graduating class?
11.
Ooh, 11. That's rough there, bro. And normally in the graduating class is probably more boys than girls.
There was. We had Crystal and we had Carolyn. And Carolyn is no longer with us. God bless her soul. So there's just 10 of us now. And it's crazy because the way this school worked was when you get into junior high, you start raising money.
Okay.
And you raise money for your senior trip.
Okay.
And we do different things, and we this money goes into an account for a senior trip where it pays for everything. You don't have to save money or nothing. You'll get like a couple of $1,000s in your pocket to go on this senior trip that you work so hard to pay for. And you do that at the start of 7th grade. Okay. And so whenever we went to the Bahamas. We went on a Carnival cruise for our senior trip. We went to the Bahamas. And when we got back, we were there a whole week. When we got back, Clinton Selman, his mom, said, look around. She goes, y'all will never be, she goes, in the same spot at the exact same time ever again.
Wow.
And, me being stupid at 18, I'm like, what the hell is she talking about?
Right.
We have never been in that same, together ever again in that same spot, ever. Ever.
Wow.
We have never what has it been 15 years now? This May has been 15 years since I graduated. And guess what? The hard reality is because Carolyn has passed on, we will never be together ever again.
Wow. It came true. I mean, because it's honestly true, because when people, we all got lives to live, and you never know where you're going to end up, man, in the next 5, 10, 20 years, and then, especially at a small school like Vernon, a lot of you guys y'all love to venture out. I mean, because you're tired of that small, you want to see the world, right? And a lot of times, man, unless your family is still there, you don't have no reason to go back or be around, and I think that's tough about small schools, small towns, because what she said was, man, spot on, brother. It was spot on. I mean, but if you think about it, when you were 18, that just blew over your head. You're like, we'll see each other, we'll be there, No,
it's true. And Vernon is their own school. We're Northside. We're in the mid. We're like literally 10 minutes away from the Red River, the Oklahoma. Like we're in the middle and on a highway. There across the street is a white Methodist church, and across the street is the high school. 70 kids between kindergarten and 12th grade.
Wow.
And so yeah, no, it was fun. It was real fun. And that's me and my sister. We both graduated from Northside. We're Northside alumni. Very proud of it. My brothers, they graduated up in Colorado and Wiley, but no, Northside is a very good community. We, it's one of those when disaster strikes, even to this day, that community is going to be there for you. And that's what it's about.
So in Vernon, did you play any sports at Vernon High?
Not in Vernon High, no. I played at Northside High.
I mean, that's what I'm sorry, Northside High. Did you play any sports there?
I did. I played. You name it, I played it.
So basically, well, that is kind of true with everybody that goes to a 6-man football team school. You play basketball, you play football. If there's a golf team, you play golf. Baseball team, you gonna play baseball just because.
We had a golf team, but only Zach Agnew played it. Only Zach played. I didn't play no golf. I went to Denver to Top Golf one time I was an area manager for Schwann's Home Food Service, and we had a big area manager meeting, and we went to Top Golf at the end of our meetings. I can't hit a golf ball to save my life. Let me rephrase that. I can hit a golf ball, but I can't hit it in the direction that I need it to go.
Oh, it's not going the proper way.
Right. How the hell are you swing this way and it's going in front of you? I don't get it.
So at Northside, when you played football. So what positions did you play in
wide receiver and defensive end.
So DN wide receiver. So that means you had a little speed. You had what your top speed was what a 4.2 40? Is that what you were running? 4.2 40s?
It was a high 4, probably a high 4.
It was a high, hey, but you were in the 4s. You were in the 4s.
I was in the 4, so I could run a mile. I could run a mile in 4.5 minutes. So whatever that is, I could do a mile in 4.5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were nice and slim. You were that pretty boy in school. Basically, that's what you were telling me.
I was 6'1". I was about 185.
185. Well, shit, I think the last time I was 185, I was in kindergarten, I believe. But I think I was in kindergarten. Hey, but so of course in 6-man football you had to go both ways. You had to go both ways. Right. You had to be in shape. I remember, as I recall, 6-man football was 80-yard field, not 100-yard. Right?
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah, 80-yard field, and those scores could get ridiculous. It's like arena football outside.
It's track. It's more track. It's a lot of running. It's a lot of big hits.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you played 11-man your whole life, and you try to play 6-man football, and you play on both sides of the football, and as much running, you won't be able to keep up. Your cardio condition from 11-man to 6-man is night and day different. It really is. It's completely different.
Right. So did you enjoy playing football? I mean, because a lot of times, when you're at those small schools, it's a necessity because it's bodies, it's numbers. Was football always in your heart?
Always, Texas, man. It's football. It's still
Mhm.
football. So we won state in 2006.
Okay.
We won state in 2006, and we went to the playoffs in 7, 8, and 7 and 8, 6, 7, 8, and 9. My senior year. So we won state my freshman year, but sophomore, junior, and senior year, we always went to the playoff. Football was huge. We'd get the police escorts. We had the big Greyhound bus for our travel. We were the kings of 6-man football of North Texas, and that's because we were fast. We were physical. We weren't scared to hit. We weren't scared to get hit. And we were going to destroy you. Like in 6-man football, there's a mercy rule. You score 40.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
It's the second quarter. You're done. I can't tell you how many times we stopped playing football after the second quarter.
Yeah.
We demolished everybody.
Wasn't the mercy rule back then? If you were, it was like up 50, you had to quit. Was it 50 at the time?
40. It was
40. Okay. Yeah, because going to college out in Abilene, a lot of the 6-man football teams had playoff games at our stadium. And
we won state there in 2006.
Oh, did you? Okay. So, hey, man, we were there, and I'd never seen 6-man football before. Never seen it. Okay, because hey, I grew up in the big city. It's 11 on 11. So they asked for volunteers to come and work the chains and everything for the game. I was like, hey, I want to do it. I've never seen it. Let's do it. And hey, Mike, my head was like this. The whole game. I was more tired with the chains than I was playing in a football game.
How many hard hits did you see though?
Oh, it was a lot of hitting. That's if you can get to them. I mean, because everything, the passes and runs was just so quick and so precise. It's when people go and see 7-on-7 tournaments, I say, you ain't in no pads, you ain't in that. Get in the pads and play 6-man football, and it's a big difference. Hey, man, hey,
huge difference.
I had to give you props on that, brother, because I don't think the big fella would have ever survived. I'd have been center and nose guard. All I would do was just turn around. But
in 6-man, being a center, you're eligible to catch a pass.
Oh, well, I'd have been All-American then at tight end. I did. I'd have been an All-American.
That's why I was so happy for Leighton Vander Esch playing 8-man. Leighton Vander Esch played 8-man ball. And my brothers, they played 8-man in Wiley, Colorado. And so, the small 6-man, 8-man dude, when they get recognized, it's great. Zach Agnew, his jersey is in the Texas Football Hall of Fame because he got All-State 4 years in a row. Wow. So his jersey's retired at my high school, and it's in the Texas Football Hall of Fame, coming from 6-man. And Zach was able to play for Abilene.
Wow. So, man, when we were in school, we had a kid to play football on our team in college. And everybody, when you graduate, you're really proud of your Letterman jacket, right?
Oh yeah.
And he played a 6-man football, and he had state of Texas patches covering his whole jacket. Okay,
champion.
He was All-State in football, basketball, golf, track, and baseball. He had all states in all of the sports. I was so envious. I was like, bro, you know how hard it is to make All-State anything? Right. I was like, and you're All-State in 4 different sports. He said, yeah, it was 6-man. He said, I wouldn't say it was easy. He said it was less competition to become All-State. I was like, okay. And he said, because you think about it, if you go to the playoffs and everything and playing state championship games and quarters, he said people recognize you more. And he said we were always in the quarters and the semis and the state final games in everything we played.
Yeah,
So he
we
said
were too.
he said I was one or two best players on each team I played on, and he said that's how he became all state. But hey, shout out to all 6-man, 8-man football, hey man, because that's when you know you love football, when you playing 6 and 8-man football. That's true love of the game.
You know, it's still the same concept, right? You still got to learn how to run a route. You still got to learn how to hit. You still got to learn how to sack. You still got to. There's intelligence to it. Yeah, there's only 6 guys in there, but there's intelligence to it, because you're not only do you have to be fast, the people you're playing against are fast, right?
Yeah.
And so, but other sports like basketball and baseball, we played the bigger schools and we still beat the bigger schools.
Right.
So, just because we played 6 men didn't make us less equals to any other bigger school, because we still beat those guys in other sports.
That's what I'm talking about. So after high school, man, what you do? Did you go to college? Did you go to the military? What did you do after school?
So, fun fact, okay? I am completely deaf in my left ear. I was born without an eardrum. So
wow, okay.
I tried to go to the military. Scored high on my ASVABs, got to pick whatever job I wanted. Then my recruiter told me to act stupid on any questions or any scars that got brought up in the maps there in Oklahoma City. I said, all right, cool. So, hey, what's that scar? I don't know what scar you're talking about. I've never seen that scar before. What is that? Okay, cool. Boom, 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 going on my hearing test comes up. I knew that I was deaf in my ear, right? It was no surprise to me. And I tried so hard to cheat, but the doctor's standing right there, and you can't just flip your headphones over, right?
Yeah.
So I failed, right? I failed my hearing test, and I couldn't get a waiver to help serve my country. It was in my blood to go serve my country. Didn't work out. So I tried college. Okay, let me go to college. Always in school, but college just wasn't for me. It just wasn't. So I was like, I'd rather take I'm going to bet on myself approach. And so I did college for a year, and I bet on myself, and I can say I'm glad I did that.
Okay, so what was the bet? The
bet on myself was just whatever you do it to your best of your ability.
Okay.
That was the bet. Like, okay, you don't have a degree to lean on. So what are you going to do? How are you going to do this? Can you support a family on whatever you do? And so from there, there's a Tyson plant in Vernon, Texas that I started working on right after I got back from that Carnival cruise.
I know exactly where it is. I know exactly where it is.
That was my first job out of high school. I was working since I was 14. I worked at Sonic on payroll since I was 14. Then I went into United Supermarkets. Then I went into Tyson Foods, okay? And when I told myself, you have to do the best of your ability at anything that you do, I was promoted 6 months later to a line supervisor position. Okay? Then from there, I was like, okay, I'm tired of this. This was 4 years later being a line supervisor. I'm really young. They're not going to promote me to a blue hat, at 23. I still have a lot to learn, right? So then I got out of there and I went into corrections, the Department of Corrections in Colorado. That's when I moved to Colorado.
Okay.
And love that. But then the Sheriff's Department offered me a job. And so I went to the Sheriff's Department. Again, it's always going to be the best that I can be at any given job. So I went to the Sheriff's Department, became a pepper spray instructor. So I was getting pepper sprayed annually. And then I met a guy, and he was in retail. He was a district manager for Verizon. And he said, listen, you have charisma to be a salesman. He goes, law enforcement might be your thing. Do law enforcement. But I'm telling you, you can exceed in sales. He says, do you know what the number one paying job is in the world? I said, a doctor, a lawyer? He said, no, a salesman. That's the number one paying job in the world. He goes, you have it in you to do it. So I got out of law enforcement, went to go be a store manager for Verizon. I went from the store being shut down due to theft to turning over the whole store, to taking over the store, to remodeling the store, from hiring my own people into the store. We were the best Verizon in the state of Colorado
Okay.
for 6 months straight.
Okay.
So that happened. Then I met a guy for Schwann's Home Food Service. He goes, dude, your leadership skills is unbelievable. He goes, I want you to come work for Schwann's Home Food Service and be an area manager over here. I said, okay, what's the money like? Because I was making really good money with Verizon. He said, we'll discuss that here later. I said, okay. So I go to Schwann's. I took the offer. It was way more money than I was making slicing bacon, way more money than I was selling cell phones, way more money than it was correcting people and in a correctional facility, right?
Right.
Boom, had that. Was doing fantastic. COVID hit. My bonus checks freaking tripled. We were living large. There came a point in time where I paid $20,000 into federal taxes.
Wow.
$20,000 into federal taxes, big fella. That's how much that tax bracket I was in, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They shut down 90 doors. My door was one of them.
Wow.
They wanted me to go to Sioux Falls, South Dakota and go run that depot because they shut down a lot of rural depots because they wanted to go to metropolitan areas. And, you know, I'm a religious man and God had it on my heart to not go.
Mm-hmm.
My roots here where I live at now in Kansas wasn't deep. My kids' roots were deeper than mine. I was here because I was making a lot of money.
Right.
That's the only reason why I was here.
Right.
But God had it on my heart to not do it. So I said, what am I going to do now? I now sell semi-trucks and semi-trailers, and I make even more money than I was doing there. So everything that I've done always increased my pockets.
Okay.
So when I say that I bet on myself, because I don't have a degree to lean on, and I have to do everything in my power to do what I'm going to do to the best of my ability, that's what I mean. In every job that I've taken, my pockets have always increased.
Hey, that's always the goal, right? You always want to do better in one job than you did the last one, unless you're my age and you don't really want to do anything. But
my call-in record, between 3 jobs, and keep in mind I was at these jobs a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Between 3 jobs, I called in 1 time.
Wow.
That's it. 1 time. And I take my vacation when I'm supposed to take my vacation. If anybody's watching this and you got 4 weeks of vacation on the backlog sheet, slap yourself. You deserve vacation on the company dime.
Right.
Go.
Right.
That's why it's there. Get a break. Take a break. Even if it's a staycation, use your vacation every year. Don't let that crap build up. You deserve the break. I promise.
Well, we're gonna get into the personal life now. You're married, and your wife's name is Liberty. Yes. That's awesome, man. When I text all my guests, certain things I wanted to know, so we could discuss it, right? Your wife's name is Liberty. So how long have you and Liberty been married?
We've been married in June 1st will be 11 years.
11. And where did you guys meet?
We met on the Facebook page.
Did you really? So what you saying? Did you drop in her DMs, bro?
So this is what happened. So I didn't know her from Adam. All right, didn't know her. We liked the same Dallas Cowboy page. This was probably 2012. It was in 2012. We liked the same Dallas Cowboy page. I commented on something. She seen me. And I seen that she liked my comment. I click on her. Who's this?
Right, right.
So then she likes my profile picture. So she's on my profile.
Okay.
So I click on her
checking
profile.
You out too. Okay.
Right. So I click on her profile. So I start liking multiple pictures of her.
Okay.
Right. So then she DMs me and she was like, "Why you keep liking my stuff?" And I was like, "I don't know. You tell me. What's good. What's up." And she lived in Kansas at the time.
Okay.
And so I was already planning to move to Colorado, which her hometown and where I was going to move is only an hour and a half away from each other.
Okay.
So this was almost perfect timing.
Okay.
So I meet up with her before I do the move. I meet up with her in her hometown, and we go watch a scary movie. You know, the comedy scary movie. It was one with the aliens.
Yeah.
And we hit it off. We go to Taco Bell for our first date. You know, we go to the movies. We're just chilling. We were talking for 6 months, right?
Okay.
Then we finally met up. Whatever. So we hit it off, and then I told her, I said, hey, I'm planning on moving to Lamar, Colorado. It's only an hour and a half away. So I am moving May. She's like, well, my parents are religious. I can't move in with you, and it's going to be hard to do this, that, and the third. I said, shit, let's get married then. You know, we get along. We do great. What the hell are we waiting on? So 8 months in dating, 6 months of that was long distance. We got married, and here we are 11 years later.
Jesus Christ. I mean, it just happened just like that. I mean, literally just like that.
Just like that.
Within 8 months, you already knew.
I already knew. All because of a Dallas Cowboy page.
How about them Cowboys? Hey man, but that's awesome, man. How you literally met each other because y'all like the same thing. You liked each other's basically pictures. Then you get into a conversation with each other, and now you're married 11 years with 2 kiddos.
Yeah.
Awesome. So now she is originally from Kansas.
Yes.
Okay. You are originally from Texas.
Yes.
You moved to Colorado for a little bit. You guys get married, and you guys end up where?
And she moves with me in Lamar because I was in corrections.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long did y'all stay in Lamar until you moved back to Kansas?
3 years.
3 years. Okay. So did you guys move back because that's where she's more comfortable, or it was just the job opportunity?
The job opportunity was in her hometown of Garden.
Oh, so it worked out perfect for both of y'all.
Dude, it worked out, yes. For both of us, yes.
That's awesome. Now tell me about the kiddos. I know one that you abused on TikTok and everything. It's just a joke, y'all. He did not abuse his daughter. It was just a video that was a real funny video that he accidentally grazed his daughter. And I teased Mike. I said, Mike, I'm calling CPS. You hit your baby on TikTok. So how old are your baby girls?
They just turned. They're 13 months apart, and they just turned 11 and 10.
11 and 10. Oh, okay. You almost got teenagers, brother. What are you gonna do? You got 2 girls, bro. What are you gonna do?
Keep raising them right. You know that's
right.
That's
right.
It is. Just keep raising them right. And you know,
So you and Liberty, you guys never discussed that third, maybe squeeze out that boy.
So what's funny is everyone keeps asking for it. So what's funny about that is when you have 2 kids 13 months apart, and you're 23 and 22 years old, that does something to you.
It's rough, ain't it?
Dude, it's tough because between both of them, we only had 4 weeks of a bottle break because Eliana turned 1. We got her off the bottle, right? So then four weeks later, Diana was born. And so, bam, back to the bottle, back to newborn diapers, back to this, back to that. And so it really got easier when they were both potty trained. When both of them got potty trained, life got set. But we're at the point where she's doing great in her professional career. I'm doing great in my professional career. How much more? We know how expensive daycare is. How much more do we want to put on this? Right? And so it was like, okay, let's see what happens. She put in an IUD, a 10-year birth control, and we just never get out since after Diana was born. So because of that, it's actually about to come out now. So if you see me with more gray hair, the baby's on the way. It's actually about to come out.
Hey, man, look. My brother, I was talking to him, my youngest brother. I used to tease him all the time that he'd never get married, blah blah blah. So he didn't get married till he was after 40, right? So they've been married a while, and he called me the other day. He said, "Bro, I got something to tell you." I'm like, "Oh, what's going on?" "My wife's pregnant." I said, "Dude," I said, "you don't know how excited I am for you." And he's like, "Why are you so excited?" I said, "Because you're the person I thought would never have a wife, never have a family. You got both now." Okay. So it's just like a rite of passage, when you're a man, you're gonna get married, you're gonna have kids, you're gonna take care of them, they're gonna go off, they're gonna grow up, you're gonna miss them, you're gonna do all this, then you're gonna have grandkids. It's just a part of life, man. But that's pretty awesome. I'm hoping for the boy for you if it comes out. If it comes out and I see that gray hair, I'm like, yes, Mike got this boy.
I talked to her. So what we've been talking about, what birth control do we want to take? And my wife's like, I don't know if I want birth control.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, so let's look at birth control for me. And there's a vasectomy option that we're really considering if she don't want any birth control in her body. So we're weighing all those options out.
Not until we get that boy, okay? I'm cheering for Uncle Cowboy Chris. He wanted you here. So name the boy Chris.
Right.
Hey man, let's get into how you became Cowboy Corner. You started your YouTube account in 2014. And Mike, let me tell you this, okay? I told this story many times. I never even went to YouTube unless I was looking for a music video. I never thought about any kind of content or anything like that. To me, it was a music video or how-to videos was YouTube, okay? So when I actually discovered, hey, there are content creators here talking about my favorite team. Mike, what made you become a Dallas Cowboy content creator?
So, absolutely. So, in 2014, you go to my videos when DeMarcus Ware was released. That's my very first video.
Mhm.
For some reason, my name was Catch Up 2011. And I came up with that name as like Catch Up on the News. That was like, I was trying to hit that angle. And so, there for a while, Catch Up 2011 was the stitch. All right. But I lived in Colorado. DeMarcus Ware released. I was working for the sheriff's department. There's not a lot of Cowboys. There's a lot of Cowboys. We're America's team. There wasn't a lot of Cowboy fans that I knew at the time in that area for me to talk to. All right.
Okay.
So I'm like, it's a culture shock because I'm from Texas. Everybody's tailgating. Everybody's barbecuing. Everybody has the flags. Colorado football isn't as big.
Yeah.
Unless, you bandwagon when Peyton Manning got there. That's the only time Denver football got big because it died off with Elway over there, right?
Right.
But in Texas, football's everything. So when DeMarcus Ware got released, I was down, dude. I was like, this sucks. Who can I talk to about this? So you go watch my very first video, DeMarcus Ware. DeMarcus Ware was released today by the Dallas Cowboys. Bam! Very first video, right there.
Okay.
And the goal was to find other Cowboy fans to talk to.
Okay.
That was the goal because I needed that. Then the channel started taking off and the goal was working. I want to conversate with more Cowboy fans. Then, bam, Dallas Cowboy Football News came. Okay. Cool. That's Dallas Cowboy Football News. I rocked with Dallas Cowboy Football News for a long time. But then I was like, man, this is getting kind of stagnant. This is getting kind of stale. I'm getting pissed off. I'm more raging. I'm more yelling. What can I do? How can I rebrand this thing? Because these Cowboys are really starting to piss me off. I'm losing focus of what this channel was supposed to be.
Right.
Big shout out to my best friend, cowboysblog.net. He's been in the game for over 20 years now. He does the Frisco Report with me. And I said, dude, I need a name. I was like, I'm thinking Cowboys Corner. I don't know. What do you think about that? he sent me my logo, the C with the inner C in it.
Yeah.
He goes, "There's your logo. That's perfect. Rebrand." Bam! Changed everything to Cowboys Corner, rebranded, and I like the direction that I'm going in now because Dallas Cowboy football news didn't take lightly to fans making a living on the thing that I love, the Dallas Cowboys. Right. YouTube, to me, is a hobby. Talking about the team that I love to find Cowboy fans with the same love and passion that I have, right? Okay. So DCFN was more of, this guy's a fraud. This guy here, this guy over here, you're fake. You're not a fan no more. You're meaty. You know, Cowboys Corner now blocks those guys out. Boom. And Cowboys Corner interacts more with guys like Big Fella, guys like Armando, Rube, CowboysBlog.net, Fifth Quarter Cowboys, right? Yeah. Dallas Cowboy Fan 1980. That's the circle that I keep now with me. Dallas Cowboy Football News would have blasted you, called you out. No, I don't want to be that anymore. I need to be Cowboys Corner. I need to rebrand this thing and remember what I was here for, to meet Cowboy fans.
So this is my question to everybody I ask, you know, because I discovered TikTok through my wife because she was sitting there on the couch laughing. Okay. And next thing you know, I'm on TikTok every damn day. Next thing you know, I create a page and it was just Chris. That was the name of my page, was Chris, right? And I was like, I was just doing stupid stuff on there. And I was like, that ain't what I do. What I do is cowboy crap. All I do is talk about Cowboys. All I do is think about Cowboys. I changed my name, you know, Dallas Cowboy Chris. As soon as I changed my name, Mike, my page kept going bing, 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 bing. I was like, oh, we got something here. So was that the same feeling after you changed to Cowboy Corner? Did it just start the because you got 4,000, almost 5,000 followers on YouTube. So did it just instantly start clicking to other people looking for you once you rebranded?
I think so. You know, I still rage, I still rant, and I think a lot of subscribers came from that. Just the authenticity of being a fan. You look at the comment section of my most viewed videos, and there's not only Cowboy fans in there, there's other fans from other teams talking about my passion. Because when these Cowboys piss me off, the YouTube is where I go. And so it was more of that than it was, you know, because I only do about 30 videos a year. And so if I'm going to do something, I want to do it to the best of my ability, right?
Right.
So I can't do YouTube full time because I don't feel like I can do it at a high level and be successful at it.
Okay.
Because if I try to do it, I'm going to lose sight of being a family man, being a husband, my other job that pays well, right? So I keep YouTube short, sweet, as a hobby. Okay. So it was more of, if I'm going to make a video, whatever I say, I'm going to stand on it. And I think people found that more enjoyable than calling out different people and doing different things.
Now, I know we met when I was still on the Cowboys huddle, and you were commenting and everything. I was like, man, this guy, Cowboy Corner, man, he is on it. I mean, he got some real strong opinions, but I was like, everything he said was factual. It wasn't, you know how most people will comment on something and they just talking out the side of their neck, don't know what the hell they're talking. I call those Cowboy fans the ESPN Cowboy fans. The only thing they see is the video, the highlights. They didn't watch the game. Right. And that's the one thing about me. If you're a Cowboy fan and you don't actually watch every play, and then you have an opinion about the game that you didn't watch, it irritates me. Okay. But when we met and you were commenting and everything, I said, man, I got to follow this guy. I got to follow him. Then you came on the show. I instantly liked you. I said, Mike is educated on what he's talking about. He may differ be a different opinion of mine, which is all the damn time. We always got a different opinion. I don't think we agreed on anything yet, but it's just the passion we both got for that star. So I can respect that. I can respect it because, man, we go back and forth conversations. We go back texting back and forth about certain issues of the Cowboys, but it always end up one way. We're both Cowboy fans, and we both respect each other's opinions. Okay, so I think, to me, that's how you grew so much, because you don't think like any other Cowboy fan. I don't either, because when I need to be critical of the Cowboys, I have no problem with it. I will criticize, and I love this. I'm sure you've gotten this before, and I've told this story before, how someone told me on TikTok I cannot be a Cowboy fan because I criticize them. I was like, well, I'm sure you've had a job before. I'm sure you've been to school before. Everybody in this world has been criticized in one way or the other. It's how you take it. If it's constructive, I can take constructive criticism. But if you criticize them for just to be criticized and then you don't know what the hell you're talking about, I can't take that. So how do you deal with criticism from followers? How do you deal with it?
You know, that's a really good question. That's a really good point. So it's tough. When you're a real Cowboy fan, it's tough to be real with other people because there's a lot of bigger content creators than me. Mm-hmm. And, you know, they have their opinions like we have our opinions.
Right.
But they stick to the opinion and they don't ever criticize it. So whenever the real fans come in and we criticize it, the viewership only hears what they're saying because they say that. It's almost like Fox News with the vaccine, right?
Mm-hmm.
The vaccine's bad. The vaccine's bad. The vaccine's bad. Don't take it. Don't take it. Next thing you know, half the population is anti-vax, right?
Yeah.
But if they just were honest about it, hey, this is what it's going to do. This is what it can do. Yada, yada, yada. It's up to you to do it versus being anti-vax. Don't do it at all. They're in behind the scenes getting it, right? So with Cowboy content creators, there's a bigger fan base. There's a bigger content creators that won't adjust it because it's agenda-based content, right? They have to keep a certain clicks and stuff like that too, right? So they have to spin it. Those ears listen to that more than they would listen to the smaller guy, right? Because they think they're more credible because they have a bigger fan base. So whenever that happens, that makes us look bad because they won't agree with it. But at the end of the day, I started this to meet Cowboy fans, not to argue with them.
Right.
I started this because that's your opinion. This is my opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're all fans here. At the end of the day, Jerry signs the check, not Cowboys Corner.
Right.
I don't have a stone and a utensil, and I'm not here hammering what I'm saying. It's not going in the Bible.
Right.
Hold your horses, bud. But, you know, there's other fans, 4.7, that agree with me on where these Cowboys are headed, what they're doing at any given time, right? And so when you look at that and you look at the negatives or the guys that go against you or think you're crazy or whatever, that's fine. It don't get to me no more. It used to. It used to get to me.
Mm-hmm.
But, no, I had to just pump my brakes on there. Okay, that's fine. But why is it when I say something, 80% of it comes true, but when they say something, 40% of it comes true. But you keep your opinion.
Right. You know, and I hate when people who aren't Cowboy fans throw that, hey, you're delusional crap at me. You're delusional. I said, I'm delusional because I'm factual, or am I delusional just because you don't like the colors I wear? I mean, because if I'm gonna spit something at you, and if I'm gonna make a TikTok about it, I've researched it. You know, I feel it here. Now, I'll tell you if it's just a Chrisatorial. That's what I call it. A Chrisatorial is just about the way I feel. But anything else, it would be factual. So, hey man, I had to teach myself to live a different way on social media. What I mean by that, I used to read comments, Mike, and I would get so angry. And I was like, Chris, you put yourself in this situation, right?
You put yourself out there.
You did it. Once it's on this screen here, once that camera come on and the lights come on, I put myself in that situation, right?
Yeah.
And then I had to remind myself. And then just speaking to you, Mike, or speaking to Cowboy Beat, or speaking to the Can fans, or speaking to Jay Tuck, speaking to Armando, we all got a different opinion. And once I had to realize, Cowboy fans, we all got different opinions on our team, I did well. I've calmed down a lot because I was one of those guys. Hey man, I grew up in the hood. You hit me, I'm hitting back.
That's right. That's right.
It's the way it is. And when you get hit on social media, you automatically go, hey, I'm in attack mode.
Right.
But you can't, because you really got to think about it, because you're going to get yourself out of character, So has anybody on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter or X gotten you out of your pocket where it infuriated you, where you had to go into attack mode?
Oh yeah, all the time, dude, all the time. But see, and it was more with my peers, it's more with other content creators, okay, than it is with random people commenting, because I was always skinny. Okay, this new fat guy stuff is new to me. All right, the last 5-6 years.
Welcome to the club. Welcome.
It's new to me, right? So, when they come with the weight stuff, it's like that doesn't bother me. But I laugh at commenters' comments. Like my best comment that I've ever gotten was, "Shut up with your old McDonald hairline ass." Dude, when I tell you I laughed at that comment more than I should have, it was the best comment ever. But when I go into defense mode, it's because of the passion that I have for the star. Because,
right.
Yeah, I wear my Cowboys Corner t-shirts, but you don't see a Cowboys Corner shop under me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a Dallas Cowboy football hat, but you don't see the shop underneath me, right? When it bothers me is when they promote their brand, talking about my team. That's when I got in defense mode. Okay. And I shouldn't have. Who am I to say how you make your money? But when it's on the back of my star that I love,
right,
there comes a point in time where you're not a fan anymore. Because you're talking about this team like you love them, but you don't have a Dallas Cowboy star in sight.
Wow.
You have your brand in sight.
Wow.
That used to bother me the most. So when you see Cowboys Corner, you always see a Dallas Cowboy star.
Right.
No matter what video I'm in, because I'm showing you that I'm doing this for them instead of not doing this for my own gang.
Well, you can tell we got the same thing behind me. I'm always repping the two teams, Cowboys and Michigan, regardless. Wherever I go, those are my team. That's my squad. Those both are my squads, and it's been like that. So, man, I'm gonna ask you this: when did Mike fall in love with the Dallas Cowboys?
Man, so I have a video on this on YouTube, actually, a long time ago. I was 8. The Dallas Cowboys were playing the San Francisco 49ers. Dallas Cowboys are lighting them up. Deion Sanders, I think, had an interception. And I told my mom I want a Deion Sanders jersey.
Okay.
And lo and behold, I got one.
Okay.
Sure did. And, when you're a kid, you see this, you see that. And and I got it. I got my Deion Sanders, and I wore that thing to the ground. Wore it out.
Most jerseys you ever get, probably don't exist anymore because you wore it out and how many times your mom washed it.
Right. And so wore that. I'm seeing if I have a picture of it. Wore that thing out. And then, I watched, the Quincy Carter days. I remember watching that. And, I grew up in a community that, was very poor. I don't want to call it the hood, but it was very similar to that. I grew up with all different walks of life, black, Mexican, whatever, poor, white, trash, you name it. I grew up with it. And so Joe, he would always come over, and he was a big Cowboys fan, and we would watch the Quincy Carter football games, and we would do that, and we would do this. And then, Drew Bledsoe came in, and we were watching that, and I remember having a Dallas Cowboy flag every time they would score, woo, I'm a kid, though. I wasn't keeping up with players until I got older, right? So then Tony Romo came on the scene, 2006, 16 years old. Bam, plugged in, started watching it. Really, I think I've missed 2 games since I was 16 years old. I probably missed 2 games since I was 16. That's about right.
Once you realize that's your team and you begin to bleed it, there's nothing that could come on TV that has their name on it that you don't watch. I was so bad at one point, Mike. I watched the Cowboys coaching show, Jerry Jones's show. I used to watch Tom Landry's show. All these shows that the Cowboys had, any documentary about the Cowboys, anything that said Cowboys, I've watched, I've seen, I've done it all. Okay. I love when people attack and say you never even seen a Super Bowl. I said, man, I'm 55 years old. 55 years old. The Cowboys been in existence for 62 years. Do the math. I tell them, hey, Mike, do the math. So, I said, now I hate for our younger Cowboy fans that never experienced it. But once they do, because they will, okay, once they experience it, they'll know what it truly means to be a Cowboy fan, because it's nothing like it. When your team gets that ultimate goal of being in the Super Bowl. So let's do this, man. Before we're almost done. So you text me and you told me these were your 2 all-time favorite Cowboys, and I'm a little older, so my all-time favorite Cowboy was Harvey Martin. Okay, defensive end also. Okay. What made you fall? I know. I'm gonna tell you why I fell in love with Jason Witten, because he was a leader from day one. He was a leader day one, and my aunt. I had to talk to my aunt one time. I came into a party. I had a Jason Witten jersey. I love this jersey, right? She said, "Why you got a Jason Witten jersey on?" I said, "I love him." She said, "I don't like him." I said, "Why?" "Oh, he was yelling at Dez Bryant and told him to shut the F up." I said, well, I said, what the problem? What was the problem? Why would he tell Dez Bryant that? I said, see, you looking at it as a race thing. As a football player, it ain't no such thing as race.
Right.
It's the leaders and the followers. The leader on that team was Jason Witten, and Jason Witten demanded respect, and I loved it that he did that to Dez. He was the only person on the team that could do it to Dez. The only person. And Dez did what? Well, yeah, Romo. But guess what Dez did when he told him to shut the F up? He shut the F up.
He shut the F up.
So tell me about, man, how they became your favorite players.
So I played 6-man football, as we established, but I learned just from watching where the way he was able to swipe, cut, and then go up. Okay.
Right.
You still have to do that in 6-man football.
Mhm.
So I studied my game around DeMarcus Ware.
Okay.
From cutting, hitting, and getting around the edge.
Okay.
All right. I learned that from 94.
Okay.
And just watching him, meeting him, knowing the type of human being he was from day one. I would love for him to get more fourth quarter sacks, but 120 still good enough for me.
Right.
And so, the clutch moments, with the Saints and that undefeated team, and the clutch moments against the Colts, when his last year as the Dallas Cowboy hurt me so much because he gave it all on the field, big fella.
Right.
He looked like a mummy. I don't know if you remember this, but he was wrapped up with an elbow, a knee, a neck, a back. You look at that injury report from week 16 with DeMarcus Ware playing the Washington Redskins, you're like, damn, how did he even play? That is the type of player I always wanted to be. When you're down, when you're beat up, when your lungs are pink, when you're gasping for air and you need more, D Ware was that type of guy for me.
Okay. And
Jason
what about
Witten.
Jason? Mm-hmm.
Jason Witten, dude. You're talking about the hit heard around the world, right? Philadelphia, Sunday Night Football, catches the pass, turns around, gets popped, the helmet goes flying, and he's still taking off for runs. He's hurting. You could tell he's hurting, but he got that ball, and he's still running. The grit that man played with, the intelligence that man played with. The Giants came off a Super Bowl winning year in 2011. Ronaldo McClain hit Jason Witten so hard in a preseason game against the Raiders, it ruptured his spleen.
I remember.
He was not supposed to play that day. We're going into MetLife Stadium. They're hanging their Super Bowl banner. Breaking news. Jason Witten is active for the game. I really feel like our backs were against the wall that year.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Witten, that's Jason Garrett's first season. Wade Phillips was just fired.
Yeah.
That was his first week 1 game as a head coach for Jason Garrett. Jason Witten coming in there, being active, really resonated that team. And it came, you seen a difference from when that news broke, from when they were warming up to Witten's playing.
Yeah.
That right there was leadership, grit, toughness, everything you want on the offense side of the ball. That's why those are my 2 favorite players.
Awesome. Well, man, I always love to end our show with a little fun things called either or. It's just 20 questions, and let's see which ones that Mike, Cowboy Corner, will do. So are you ready for either or, Mike?
I'm ready.
All right. Either or. First question. 1st and 10 or 4th and inches?
Give me 4th and inches.
Man to man or zone?
Man to man.
Run or pass?
Pass.
Offense or defense?
Defense.
Cheer for or be cheered?
Both.
17-0 or championship?
Championship.
Ring or Hall of Fame?
Ring.
Play the game or coach the game?
Coach.
Mountains or the beach?
Beach.
Truck or car?
Truck.
Grass or turf?
Grass.
Indoor or outdoor?
Outdoor.
TV or movie?
Movie.
Baseball or basketball?
Baseball.
Beef or chicken?
Beef.
Tecmo Bowl or Madden?
Madden.
Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan.
That's surprising. Just by your age. That's the only reason it's surprising.
I gotta tell you how many Jordan's memorabilia I wore before I wore a lot of Cowboys memorabilia. I wore a lot of Bulls.
Staubach or Romo?
Captain Comeback, give me Staubach.
Tom Landry or Jimmy Johnson?
20 years, winning season, give me Tom Landry.
And this is going to tell me if you're a true Texan or not. Whataburger or In-N-Out?
What a burger.
That's my man.
365. Number
That's
one,
my man. That's my
what a size it with the sweet tea, please.
That's my man. See, I knew we could agree on something. All these In-N-Out people.
When we went to training camp, I tried In-N-Out. The fries suck.
Yep.
The burgers are thin, and the bread isn't flaky. All right. I want my buttery bun. I want my fat patties. I want my juicy, best made pickles on my burger with that Whataburger mustard. All right. With that Whataburger spicy ketchup on my fries.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Say, man, once again, man, thank you for coming on Conversation with Chris. Mike, tell everybody how they can find you, brother.
Yeah, _ Cowboys Corner on Twitter. Official Cowboys Corner right here on the tubes. That's the two sources of mine. You can find me on the report. You can go to thefriscoreport.com for anything draft coverage. We still post on there daily. And then on Saturdays, I do Talking Crazy, still trying to get the big fella in to talk some crazy with me.
We're going to get there.
Saturdays. I'm doing every other Saturday now. We're about to go into the debate format of Talking Crazy because it's the I Think season. And so we're about to I Think debates here. So, yeah, awesome. That's where you can find me.
Awesome, man. Any final thoughts before you go?
No, big shout out to John Shango. All you guys just know him as Shango. But that's not even his real name, but it is what it is. Got to meet him. Real good guy. I was watching him, the OG of OGs of content creators, Mr. Shango, and nice human being. He's the reason why I even decided to interact with more Cowboy fans because I've seen his success. I wanted to be able to talk to some Cowboy fans too. So it's been good. It's been good.
Awesome. Well, look, man, thanks for everybody that watched today, that chimed in on the chat and everything. We appreciate y'all, man. Like and subscribe to the Cowboy Up Podcast, Conversation with Chris. And man, we'll see y'all next time. Once again, always Dallas Cowboys for life.
Thanks for having me.
Peace.